Hi, I'm Macy from the Charleston County Public Library, and thanks for watching this virtual program. September is Library Card Sign-Up Month, and your Charleston County Library card is the key to a wealth of information and resources for free. Of course, we have tons of books. We also have movies, telescopes, museum passes, and gaming tablets for kids. And your library card gives you access to tons of digital content, like ebooks, audiobooks, music, and magazine subscriptions, plus access to databases for professional development, learning a new language, and genealogy research. Your library card is available for free if you live in Charleston County. Just stop by your neighborhood branch with your proof of address and your ID. For more information, visit ccpl.org.
Hi everyone, this is Emily Hancock at the Main Library's Tech Team in Charleston County, South Carolina. Today I want to take you through 7 things you should know to secure your Facebook account. We'll start with the Facebook privacy checkup and then move on to managing settings related to your location history, your timeline, your activity log, your notifications, Facebook Pay, and finally whether or not to delete or deactivate your Facebook account altogether. I'll be conducting this tutorial in the Google Chrome browser on a desktop, but you can do this in any browser on any device, or you can even do this on the Facebook app, although you might have an easier time navigating all the options that we'll go through on the desktop. So to start with, I'm already logged into my personal Facebook account, and I like to set a bar for what I do know about what people can see on my Facebook account before I go into what I need to change. A good way to do that is to go to the View As option. So to get there, we'll go to the top right corner. I'll click on my name and my profile image, and that will take me to my Facebook account. Once I get there, underneath my cover image is this little eye icon, and if I hover over it, it says View As. So what that is going to allow me to do is view my profile as if I were a member of the public. And I can tell that I'm viewing it as a member of the public because of this gray bar at the top here that says it looks like what it looks like to the public. And if I scroll down, I can see the things that people can see about me from my intro, my photos, and even my list of friends. So now that we're done with that, we'll just click Exit View As. And we'll go ahead and I'll show you how to get to the privacy settings themselves. The way to do that is to go into the top right corner with this caret, this upside down caret, and we'll click on it, and that's our account button. If we look about 3 notches below, we'll see that there's a settings and privacy option, which we'll click. And the place I like to start is the privacy checkup. So this is a quick and easy one-stop shop to be able to easily change broad, high-level settings, and then we can go into a deeper dive later. So this is an easy way, and it shows you in 5 blocks what you can do, which I really like, and it walks you through your security settings. So we'll go top to bottom, left to right, and we'll start with who can see what you share. Each time that you click on one of these blocks, it tells you what you're going to be changing. So today we're going to change information related to the profile, posts and stories, and then blocking. So I'll hit continue. And the first step that we come to is changing the profile information. So this is where you keep things like your email address and your birth date. This is something that you can choose to hide from the public, or even from your friends. It's all very customizable, but I just want to show you that if you scroll down, you can see that it's pretty much a uniform way of changing what information can be seen by who. So if I scroll up to the top again, I can see that my email address I can only see, but if I want to, I can change that information to make it public. And if I want to change that, no matter what I want to change it to, I just click where it says the setting, and then I can choose, do I want the public to see it, my friends on Facebook to see it, or just me to see it, or even totally forbidden, and I can make a custom list. And you can do that for each of these unique elements. So I'll hit X, and I'll go to the next block. So the next step is posts and stories. Again, it's very similar. You can choose who can see your future posts, if it's just friends or if it's just you. So if I wanted to change that, I would just click this radio button to change it to public, and it changes automatically. I'm going to change it back actually to just my friends. Stories, you can do the same thing. So then you can also limit your past posts. If you do that though, you'll have to unlimit them individually. So just keep that in mind. So this is the section where we can choose to block somebody. And to block them, it tells me right up front, is to permanently remove any way to interact with that person on Facebook. So that means you cannot interact with them, so you can't see their profile or message them or anything. And the same is true in the other direction. They cannot see your profile or message you. I just want to note that this is different from hiding somebody's posts from you. So if you want to hide somebody's posts from you, that's a temporary thing, and you still remain friends with them on Facebook. And you can always undo that anytime. So I'll hit the next button and we'll move on. And we'll go ahead to the next topic, which is how to keep your account secure. So if I click there, again, it gives me a preview of what it is that I'll be doing in this section. So it's making sure that the password is okay, turning on your two-factor authentication, and then choosing what kind of login alerts you can get. If I hit continue, the first option I come to is to change the password. It's always a good idea to change your password regularly, maybe every 6 months or even more frequently, and make sure to do a completely random combination of numbers, letters, and special characters. If I hit the next button, this is where I can choose to enable two-factor authentication. So what that means is it's like an extra layer of security on top of your password. So not only will you be entering your password to log into Facebook, you'll also be doing the second step. And the second step requires one of two things. The first thing that you will need is a device that you know that you'll have on you whenever you log into Facebook. And the device needs to be able to receive text messages. Or the other option is to have a device that, again, you anticipate having with you whenever you log into Facebook, and it needs to have an app on it that's an authenticator, like Google Authenticator or Duo Mobile. And if you do choose that, then you get an explanation once you hit Get Started of what else you need to do. So if I hit the next button, I go to this final section of this block, which is whether or not I want to receive alerts and how I want to receive them if Facebook detects unusual activity, unusual login activity for me. So I can choose to turn on my Facebook notifications by clicking the button next to the line of text that says, "We'll send you a Facebook notification." And I can customize that so that I can receive also text messages, and it's the same deal. I can turn that on by clicking the little button area. Or lastly, I can turn on notifications for email. The next thing that I'll do is go to the next block. So the third block is related to how people can find you on Facebook. As always, there's a little preview. So this is where you can change your information about how people can look you up by phone number and email, if search engines can pull your Facebook profile, or if people can send you friend requests. So I'll hit continue. The first option we come to is who can send me friend requests. So right now I have it set at just friends of friends, but if I click there, then I can choose to have anybody be able to send me a friend request. I'm going to keep it on just friends of friends today. And then I'll hit the next button. Here is where you can set whether people can look you up by phone number or by email address. So right now I have it just set at friends, and you can see that's what the little buttons say, but as always you can change that by clicking the button and then broadening that to also friends of friends or everyone or only me. And then the third section has to do with if somebody searches me on a search engine, such as Google, will my Facebook profile show up in those search results? Right now the answer is no, and I can tell because this little button area here is grayed out, but if I wanted to change that, I could turn it on by just clicking it and it becomes blue. but I'm going to turn it off for today. The fourth block that we come to is related to data settings on Facebook. So Facebook tracks and other websites track your activity based on what you've done to log in. So right now I can see that I have used my Facebook credentials to log into Glassdoor and Monster, which are two websites that people can use to search for jobs. If I want to remove those, then I can just simply click the remove button. And I can choose, do I want to delete all posts, photos, and videos that Monster posted on my timeline, or send a notification to Monster that I removed it. Right now I'm just going to leave it on remove. And I'll hit next. And we'll go on to the last and fifth block, which is my ad preferences on Facebook. So this is where we can change information about what ads are tracking as far as my Facebook activity, how ads come to me that I see on Facebook, and also how friends can see what I have done to like other pages on Facebook. So I'll hit continue there. So the first thing that you come to is a little explanation of what you're even looking at about ads on Facebook. And I just told you a quick summary of that, but of course you can read the entire thing here. So I'll go ahead and hit next. So right now it says that advertisers can target me based on my Facebook information. The Facebook information that they target me on is my marital status or my relationship status. I can tell because that is blue, and I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. They can also target me based on who I have reported as my employer, which I'm going to turn off. And they can also target me based on my job title and education. Again, you can do any combination of these buttons on or off, but to be the most secure, you just turn them all off. So if I hit next, then this explains to me what social interactions are in terms of ads. So social interactions are a catch-all term for things like likes, follows, check-ins, app usage, and events. Whenever I do any of those things, Facebook tracks that, and companies on Facebook with ads track that. I can choose whether or not I want my friends on Facebook to see if I have liked a page or if I've gone to an event. So if I want to do that, I just scroll down to the bottom of this box. And the question here, who can see your social interactions alongside ads? Right now I have it set at only me, but of course you can change that to your friends on Facebook. So if I hit next, it tells me we are done with the privacy checkup. And it also, if you notice, has like a little gray today stamp, I guess you could say, underneath each block. That just tells me that today was the last time that I reviewed these blocks on the privacy checkup. So it's a good indicator to tell you if it's time, if it's been more than 6 months, maybe you want to check in on this. So it's a good way to just see quickly and easily when was the last time you have updated your privacy settings. So now that we've done this sort of broad level overview of privacy settings, let's go into the deeper dive. So again, we'll go back up to the top where it says account if I hover over that caret symbol or down arrow. And I'll click there, and again, I'll go to settings and privacy. And now let's go ahead right up to just settings. So the first thing I want to show you is how you can change your location tracking history. To do that, we'll take our eyes over to the left-hand side of the screen where this column is, and we'll go to the little heading that says location. And we'll click it. And this is where you can change what Facebook knows about where you are. So you can choose to limit your location history tracking, but just know that if you do, it doesn't totally eliminate Facebook's ability to be able to track you, because they're using other things like if you've checked in at an event or what IP address you're using. So it's not a total way to stay safe as far as location, but it does help reduce to turn off that location history. So right now mine is on for my mobile devices, but I'm going to go ahead and edit that. And I just do that by clicking, and then there's this little drop down box, and I just click off. And if I hit close, you can see that it's now off. The next thing I want to show you is how to control who can post on your timeline. And the way to do that is, again, to look over to that left-hand column and choose the heading that says timeline and tagging. So the top sort of like quarter of this screen that says timeline, this is sort of a rehash of what we already did in the privacy checkup. But what I really want to show you is actually below this timeline section. So the first thing that we'll look at is that you can change settings related to your tags. So who can see posts you're tagged in on your timeline? Right now I just have it set on friends. So that means the public cannot see that. But of course I can change that by just clicking edit. And then choosing the option that I want in the drop down. I'm going to leave it on just friends for today. And the same is true for if I'm tagged in a post, who do I want to add to the audience of the post if they can't already see it. Again, I just have it as friends, and I'm going to leave it there today. And then under the review section, I can choose to see what somebody has tagged me in before it has appeared publicly on my timeline. So right now I have that set to off, but if I want to edit that, I can just simply click the edit button that's to the right of that line of text. And right here underneath these couple of paragraphs, it says disabled. I'm going to do the drop down, and I'm going to choose enabled. And if I hit close, then you'll see that now that has become on. And the same thing is true for if I want to review tags that people have added to posts before tags appear on Facebook. So again, I can do edit, and then change where it says disabled to enabled. And then I'll hit close. Okay, so let's go ahead and now look at how to change settings related to the activity log. So the activity log is where you can review and manage what you've shared on Facebook. To do that, let's go back up to that top right corner where the caret is, hover over where it says account, go back to settings and privacy, and then we'll choose the activity log, which is about 4 notches down there. When you arrive in the activity log on the desktop, you can see that the middle of the page is pretty much blank, and that's because you have to choose something on the left-hand side to look at. So earlier I changed my settings so that I needed to review something before it appeared on my timeline. This is where I would do that review. So over in sort of the top quarter here on the left-hand side, this is where we've got the timeline review. So if I want to see if somebody has asked if they can tag me something on a timeline, then I can see right here in the middle. And the same is true for the tag review. So if somebody has asked if they can tag me on something, then the tag review will show me in the middle of the screen if I have anything that needs to be approved. The next thing I want to show you is how to change your Facebook Pay security settings. So again, let's head up to that right-hand corner where the caret is. If I click there and again go to settings and privacy, then I'll go to settings. And in the left-hand column, we'll scroll down so that we can see where Facebook Pay is. And we'll click the heading that says Facebook Pay. So this is where you can change information about your payment methods, and you can review things that you have paid for on Facebook. Of course, it's a good idea to regularly check in on this just to make sure that no strange payments show up on your account. And also, I think it's a good idea to set a PIN. So right now in the center, I can see my payment history. And then on the right-hand side of the screen, I can see what payment methods I've used, or I can remove those payment methods. And then the PIN that I was talking about is just on the left-hand side of the screen. If you look where it says Facebook Pay Settings, if I click there, switching back over to the right-hand side of the screen, under Security, I can choose to always ask for a PIN to confirm payments. So not only will I need to input my information, like my credit card information or my PayPal information, but I'll also need to authorize payments. It's sort of like a two-factor authentication for Facebook Pay, if you will. So the way to turn that on is to just click on this little grayed out arrow, or grayed out button, excuse me. And then it will ask you right then and there to enter your PIN. So I'll do that, and it's a 4-digit PIN. And you can see now that PIN has been enabled. Okay, the sixth thing I want to show you is how to change settings related to your notifications. So to do that, we'll go back up to the top where this caret is, click on it and go back to Settings and Privacy, and then go to Settings. On the left-hand side of the screen, we'll again scroll down until we find the Notifications heading, and then we'll click on that. Just like with everything else on Facebook security settings, this is all extremely customizable, so what you do for one thing does not have to be done for the other. But also, like everything else on Facebook security settings, the way to do it is pretty similar. So I'll just do one quick example to give you an idea of how you would go about doing this all the way down the list. So for comments, for example, I can see what my settings are on my notifications by clicking this drop-down arrow on the right of the comments heading. And it tells me I receive these notifications by push, which is like that two-factor authentication we talked about. I can choose to receive them by email, which I currently have turned off, and I can choose to have them sent by text message, which I have turned on. So again, you can toggle these on and off at will, and these will update automatically. Okay, the last thing I want to show you is how to deactivate or delete your Facebook account. To do that, we'll head over to the left-hand column, and we'll go to the heading called Your Facebook Information. If I scroll down all the way to the bottom of this, I can see this is where I would deactivate or delete my account. So those are two different things, and in case you ever forget, it's okay, because if you hit the View button to the right of that heading, Facebook will explain to you deactivation is a temporary thing, deletion is a permanent thing. And right now, actually, even if you do choose to delete your Facebook account, it doesn't delete automatically in case you have second thoughts. I think it waits a couple of weeks, and if you change your mind within those couple of weeks, then you can salvage your account. But this is something that people typically do when they, one, get tired of social media and just want to unplug, but also in terms of security settings, if your information has been compromised or is being shared inappropriately on Facebook, then it's a good idea to deactivate or delete your account to just get rid of that security risk. And if I wanted to go ahead with that, then I would just hit continue to account deactivation, or I can switch over to continue with permanently delete that account. Well, that wraps up today's tutorial on 7 things you should know to secure your Facebook account. If you have any questions for the tech team about Facebook or any tech issue, you can always email us at techteam@ccpl.org or give us a call at 843-805-6885. Thank you so much for joining us today, and I hope to see you soon.